Hello everyone, if you're watching this video, hopefully you're doing amazing. And today I want to talk about the Zealots. When this unit first came out in Tier 4 era, in purple, I only had them on top veterancy and never switched stances because it wasn't worth it. They always died too fast and the doctrines that I had were not good. So I always had them on top veterancy during the whole purple era. But once legendary started, they didn't really survive long. They didn't survive as long against legendary units, so I decided to switch to bottom veterancy, and it's been working a lot well than the top one, because if you can't get kills, then they bring the units kind of useless. So the bottom one is definitely the way to go, and I always prioritize trying to get them into Inquisitor mode before I lose too many of them. And with these doctrines, they're really great. So you have to make sure to have this Divine Armor doctrine and Murderous Rebirth doctrine for when you switch stances in the middle of the battlefield. The Combat doctrine is also great for self-heal and immunity. The Noble Blood is great for just all-around damage and sustainability, and this one is just for more area damage once all the cool abilities are on cooldown. So if you have all these doctrines and go bottom veterancy, you're gonna have a great time with these units once you know how to use them effectively. Also, real quick, when a lot of people have them on Inquisitor mode, I noticed that they do 1 and then 2, which is not bad. But in blob fights, when it gets super chaotic, I'd rather do 2 and then 1. Because if you remember, the 1 has a ring around it, so for maximum efficiency and maximum range, you want to use the 2 to get inside of the blob, and then the 1 to do as much area damage as possible. Like this. Use 2 to get in the blob, and then use 1 to make a big ring around the battlefield. So that's how you get the most damage from the 1 and 2, as you'll see in the following clips of how that would look like. So right here, just trying to get my meter up so I can turn into the Inquisitor and start using the best value out of my veterancy. But as you can see, even on standard mode, the unit still does super well. It just doesn't tank as much as before, but you don't really need to. Just once you turn into the Inquisitor, you kind of just do too much damage for them to kill you first, unless you get super overwhelmed. Right here, I kind of just do a flank before they notice me, and I just start attacking behind them. And because I used the 2 and then 1, most of my units were already in the blob fight, and they're just doing damage with the ring as far as they can. Even though both of the abilities are on cooldown, because of the Devastation doctrine, they still do good area damage with the basic attacks. So even though all my abilities may be on cooldown, the basic attacks still do well because of the doctrines. An example on how big the damage difference is, it took my team and I 3 units to kill 1 team of Spear Sergeants. So for 1 team of Spear Sergeants, it took, as you can see, like 4 friendly units to gang up on it so you can kill it. But as soon as I turn into the Inquisitor, you'll see what happens when I try to face one alone next time. So there it is, see my target, it's a 2v1 against my teammate, and I just show up, use 2, and big damage, and then use 1 to top it off, and the Spear Sergeants that took 4 of us, I just deleted them in 1 second without losing anybody. And this is one of my best matches because again I went against like 2-3 teams of Spear Simikin Stalwarts, and even with the Simikin Stalwarts I was still able to win with the combos that I was doing. But if you can, try to avoid big fights if all your abilities are on cooldown, if you can get them out of there, because it's better to go in there with your full kit than try to fight with just your basics. So yeah, if possible, try to get the Zealots out of the fight so you can get your abilities back, and then once they're ready, put them back in. But if you have the Weapon Doctrine and the Devastation Doctrine, you should be fine to keep fighting for a bit. So as you can see, even with half of my Zealots, still able to take care of Simikin Stalwarts pretty easily, and Spear Sergeants pretty easily, even though I have only half of them, because the area damage of the fire is too much for them to handle.
Form up on me!
What I always try to do is get into a fight for a bit, get my meter up, and then get out and switch them. And once I switch them, get back in there and try to kill everybody. Because most of the bottom veterancy relies on you being on Inquisitor mode. You kind of want to switch stances as soon as possible, instead of trying to fight on the first stance for a while. I noticed that my units were getting backlined while I was trying to call them to me, but even if I'm not there, I just have to press 2 and then 1, and it can clear almost every unit instantly. The only unit that I know that I do not win with is Queen's Knights. So if you see Queen's Knights and you have Zealots, be careful, because in my experience I have not won any fights against Queen's Knights with the Zealots. So be careful of that. That's the only unit that I know that you will lose if you do have the Zealots. But other than that, to kind of just mow down everybody else if you know how to play them right, and time your abilities perfectly when it's necessary. So see, even on this big block fight, I only have like 10 units left, but they were still able to clear since they had to do so much area damage with both of the abilities. And surprisingly, they stun lock Cav pretty well with the 1, like this. So if there's Cav rushing, just press the 1 and the ring should be able to keep them still for a bit, which is kind of useful if you time it right. Now right here I was getting ganged up on by 3 players, but thankfully my Zealots were there to save me, or I would have died. So even against players, they're decent, but not really great, because they do more of area damage than single target damage. So it will take a while for them to kill players. And it doesn't matter how many times I see it, it's always satisfying when you send them in a fight and you just see a bunch of numbers. It's so satisfying to watch. Just a bunch of numbers popping up every time you use the 2 and 1. And yeah, that's it for the video. If you're still watching by the end, thanks for clicking on the video, and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.